And it's been a moment. We wanted to say thank you. Thank you, all of you guys who stuck around to listen to our podcast and been able to like and subscribe. Please, I have my right hand, my wingman, Mr. Julio Guzman. How are you, sir?
Good. We've got a really special guest today. This gentleman is one of the pillars of the South Dade community, the Deep South Dade. He's always tried to make sure that we are at the forefront, that we do not get left behind. This is a mentor of mine. He has led by example. He has made Florida City what it is today, and we cannot thank him enough for what he does for the Deep South Dade community. He is the one and only Mayor Otis Wallace.
We wanted to say good morning, sir. Welcome, and thank you for coming on board our podcast today. I know you could have, you could be in any place in the world, but you choose to come on with us today, and we wanted to say thank you. We wanted to give you your digital flowers, and thank you for coming to give us some crumbs, and we wanted to give you your flowers and say thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invite. Secondly, I'm Citizen Wallace. I used to be mayor of
That's it.
He's always going to be mayor to us. Florida City Mayor Wallace.
But I'm now proud to be Citizen Wallace.
That's right.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Well, thank you. I mean, you've left a trail of good crumbs for all of us to be able to look at and say, listen, what an accomplishment. What an accomplishment. So, Julio, what questions do you have to start off with? I mean, I know we have a laundry list of things we could ask,
No, first of all, not only has he been the mayor since 1984, am I right? Since 1984, he's been the mayor of Florida City, but he's also a husband, he's a family man, he's an attorney, and he is just very well polished. And he has been for a long time. Now, behind the man and all the diamond that we see, you've had some adversity in life, especially early on in this community. It wasn't always easy. Can you reflect back on some of the challenges we had?
Well, first of all, I've lived in Florida City all my life. And I came along at a time when the city and the whole area was in a state of flux and change.
Right.
I went from a little kid that goes to a Florida City packing house one day to take my aunt her food, and I want to drink a water, and the sign says whites only on the cold water fountain.
Yeah.
And then on another one it says coloreds.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was a kid, I was 13.
Right.
And I drank out of the water fountain I was not supposed to drink out of.
Man.
And when I rode my bike home, by the time I got home, my mother had already gotten a call and asking me, what did you do wrong? I said, nothing. And she said, did you drink out of the water fountain? Yes, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
My mother gave me a big hug and told me she was proud of me.
And so that was lesson number one.
and she was proud of me. But the thing is, to see how a community can change, to think that little 13-year-old boy would be a mayor later on, shows you that this too can pass, and things can change. So I had a tough story beginning, but it ended well.
Right. Well said. So, I mean, along the way, obviously, you didn't just say, I wanted to be mayor. I mean, what was the aspiration from that 13-year-old growing up into today, being the former mayor now, and all in our heart, the mayor?
Well, I had no desire to be mayor or any other kind of politician, for that matter. I really wanted to be a lawyer.
Right.
That was my childhood dream. My grandmother used to love this program called Perry Mason, and Perry Mason always won, and I liked winning.
Yes, sir.
So politics was something that happened along the way. It was not something I aspired to do. I think what got me interested in it is in my senior year of high school, I was chosen as a congressional page, and I traveled to Washington for my senior year of high school with our congressman. And I got a chance to see government at work. I mean, I was literally at Congress, so I don't want to belabor it, but then when you get a chance to see things at work, it simplifies it. You see this regular people doing their jobs, and you see people from all over the country, and you can say, why not from Florida City?
Right.
So I had various things that happened in my life to help shape me, but politics was not a desire.
Was not in the cards.
No.
Well, definitely. Over time, you see that Florida City, in my heart and all of our hearts, you know what I mean, always it's there. It's the gateway truly the gateway to the Keys.
Yeah.
And one of the shining beacon there is obviously you had to pass through things you have done for the city. You see a lot of building, a lot of construction, a lot of things are happening. And that's all due to the good things that you've also implemented to have happen. So can you shine some light on, what, some of the things you've done that you feel that you felt comfortable about?
Well, one of the things that I've learned over the years that anybody who aspires to be a good leader has to understand that no one person does it all.
Right.
And you have to surround yourself with people that fill in the gaps
Well said.
of things that you don't know, and then listen to them.
Right.
It's great to be a leader, but if you don't listen to the people around you
Right.
at all, now you're still the boss and you
Right.
still have to make the final decisions. But one of the things that I think I've been blessed with is having good people who stay with me a long time.
Well said.
And that gives you a vision of the city of where it was, and it also gives you a desire as to where you want to take it.
Well said.
And so one of the things that I saw, it used to be Florida City was at the end of the county, real far away. And I didn't see that as the end of the county.
Right.
I saw us as the gateway to the Keys and Everglades,
Right.
and a natural asset
Right.
that we had to exploit and let people know about. So we took something took us far away and then looked at, well, what's good about this?
Right.
And then you sort of formulate plans based on your assets.
Right.
Then whining about what you
What
don't
you
have.
don't have, right?
There's no whining in Florida City.
Well said.
But Mayor was very instrumental in making sure that he went out to the state partners, and he found a lot of funding and a lot of grant funds that came and helped
Right.
Florida City. So a lot of times people will say, well, you know what, we just don't have the resources.
Right.
But he somehow figured out a way to go out and get
right.
resources, and now Florida City is one of the hottest places to
That's
buy
right.
property.
Well, one of the things, Julio, that most people don't realize that I was a grant writer before I got into politics. I
Okay.
wrote grants. So when I got into politics, I already had that skill set.
Right.
And I saw the immediate potential of bringing that to Florida City.
Right.
My day job when I was in law school was grant writing.
Oh,
And
okay.
so Florida City looked golden in terms of the ability to write grants, and still is. I mean, we got grants the last 6 months in office, we were still getting grants. So that was something based on the economic conditions. And I've always found that some of the negatives that is a good basis for bringing in and meeting needs.
Right.
You know, if you got something that's obviously wrong, then you got a story to tell in terms of how you fix it. So
Right.
there's gold in them hills. You can get out there and turn adversity into promising results.
Very good.
You know, even though we are neighboring cities, one thing I noticed that stood out of Florida City was the youth programs.
Right.
And I remember when I was in Little League football, there was Razorback Park.
Ooh, yeah.
Razorback Park. And that park has developed more professional athletes
100%.
than I have seen any other city produce. So how did that come about? Just the good coaches and developing
Discipline.
that talent?
Well, I tell you, actually, it started somewhere else. I was an attorney when I became mayor. And one of the jobs that I had before I became mayor, I worked for the public defender's office. And I would see and all the new attorneys start out in juvenile court. That's where and I would see all these little kids from Florida City up in juvenile court.
Right.
And I'm looking at that and it says,
Not good.
No, something's wrong.
got to find something else for them to do. So that whetted my appetite that they had to have an alternative.
Yeah.
And so one of the first things we did when I became mayor is we had no lights on the park.
Right.
My very first grant for Florida City was a grant to get lights on the park.
Okay.
So you can get kids to stay out and maybe not roam the streets.
Right. Right.
And then we got them here, and then we brought in coaches. Julio mentioned professionals. Well, a lot of those come back.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a couple of professional football players, former professionals that's on the park right now, coaching kids
The next gen.
as they were coached. So we thought about what's the problem, and one of my first priorities was to develop youth programs as a way of not meeting little kids in court.
Right. Well said.
And I remember one case I got to tell you about. This lady was telling me, man, she couldn't handle this kid. She said, I don't know what to do with it. I'm the kid's lawyer. And so I'm expecting this gangster to come walking through the door. And this little pipsqueak comes walking through the door.
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, and I look at it, I say, you can't handle him? I say, give it to my grandmother for one week.
She'll take care of that.
That's it.
She'll fix that
Granny
for
will
you.
fix it.
And so basically that was the impetus for our function. We feel that my philosophy is that it's easier to build a strong child than it is to fix a broken man.
Well said.
Think about it. It's easier to
Yeah. They say in the islands, you bend the tree while it's young.
the cultures have many ways of saying
That's it, yeah.
But at the end of the day, that was something that I said, I don't want to fix this kid by more police later.
Right.
I want to fix him now and let him be a coach, let him be a teacher, let him be a realtor, let him be a mayor, whatever.
Well said. Mm-hmm.
So that was the emphasis for it.
Very good.
So Mayor Wallace, a lot of times when Homestead and Florida City do anything, it's an impact on both cities because we're so close together. You've managed to create a way for businesses sometimes to say, you know what, I think it might be a little bit better just to go to Florida City.
Right.
Well, I think, and I'm sure that some say it's a better thing to go to Homestead.
Right.
And so basically, I think the key is when we look at a community, we may have two different cities, but it's really only one community.
Right.
There you go.
And when we're marketing Florida City, we don't just market to our city limits.
Yeah.
Right.
We're a small city.
Right.
I of course,
You cast it in
engage
wide.
them to talk about the whole circle around a community because a business person doesn't care whether their commerce comes on South or North Lucy Street.
Right.
And so we found that selling the community based on what the community needs is a way to get things done. And Homestead is great. The population base you have, I look at them as customers.
Right.
You know, and so I'm not running for office in Homestead. I'm looking for customers. I'm looking for people to fuel our businesses. Our population, it's getting there now, but was not sufficient to attract, the type of businesses, that we want to get.
So, Mayor, my term in political office, I've always come to you and asked you for guidance and advice, and you've always been there, and you've given me great advice in the past. But, sometimes the younger generation, may want to see things move a lot faster than what it does. And then I come to you like the wise old man, and you say, hey, slow down. Things don't always have to move that fast. You just want to make sure you get it right.
Well, one of my criticisms, after having been in office for so long, is that you can get stale. You can get people think you can get old. Your views can be old. But what I found that works for me is the combination. I was a venerable old mayor, but my staff was not old.
Right.
I surrounded.
You're not old. You're not old. We're just saying you're a wise man.
But I surrounded myself with the best and brightest young people. I have 3 of my former employees that are now city managers in other cities.
Right.
And they started in Florida City. But I found that the combination of the wisdom and the experience of the old and the enthusiasm and imagination of the young is a heck of a combination.
Right. What a blend, huh?
I'm the old guy, but I got kids there sometimes. They pitch stuff to me that people wouldn't even think I would be amenable to. And so I found it really worked for me. I like having young people around me.
Right.
And that's why when I decided to leave the city and retire, I felt comfortable because I know I had a foundation of young tigers to take us the rest of the way.
That's it. Well, you've definitely laid the proper groundwork, and you can see that now carrying on. And when the story, as they say, is written, you will be among some of the greats. And that is from us giving you your flowers, because we've seen what you have done. We've heard what you have done for those who are out there who don't know you, but now know you and will know you, because I'm sure there's some stuff happening that will come out soon enough that will say, hey, he's here, he was this guy, whether it be movies, TVs, books, and I'm sure all of those good things will be on the works, because...
But knowledge is not an end game. I learn every day. And there are times when I think of something that somebody else suggested that I disagreed with.
Right.
but then I would listen to them
Right.
and really get into it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I said, hey, listening is not a bad thing.
That's right.
I've changed my mind many a day because of somebody that worked with me had a new idea
Right.
that didn't generate within me.
Right.
But you have to listen. And I've been mayor of Florida City a long time.
Yeah.
But when people ask me how can I do it so long, I tell them I've been the mayor of 5 or 6 cities. The city I became mayor of bears no resemblance at all,
Right.
none, to the city that I left when I walked out the door. And I'm sure it'll change again.
Well said.
And I think the secret in government, as Julio knows, at whatever level, you have to meet the challenges of your time.
Well said.
That's that, and I think the ability to adjust. By the
Also the
time I
gen-
ran for mayor, I was not some tin horn off the street.
Right.
Everybody wants to be.
Right.
But I was actually somewhat prepared, and I think I was the first mayor to even have a college education.
Right.
Right. Okay.
And so there were a lot of things that prepared me for my journey, and my journey continues.
Right. The story hasn't been written yet, right?
No.
It's still going.
I hope to have a few mango seasons left there. Yeah.
Well said.
So, Mayor, for the young generation that's coming up and may think about wanting to follow in your footsteps, what would be some of the ideas you would give them? Some of the things that they ought to. Should it be a lot of reading? Should you maybe try to be a lawyer? Just get educated.
Well, I often speak to young people in schools, career
Right.
day programs in school, every school I went to that I go back to.
Right.
And when I tell the kid I used to go to this school, and they look at me,
Really?
"You live there? And
Right.
used to go to school here?"
That's right.
I say, "Yeah, I may have been in this classroom at
That's
some
right.
point in time." And so you bring it down to a level where they can understand that achievements, whatever they may be, are not things that are out of their reach.
Yes,
When
sir.
they see living, breathing human beings, whether
Right.
it be a mayor, commissioner, realtor, doctor,
Yeah.
lawyer, when they see things that you need to do to prepare you, and I tell them stories about people that I went to school with that didn't do that because they didn't put the time in at the earliest stage.
Right.
So I tell them what they want to be